الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين صدق الله العظيم.
Previously we had started a discussion regarding the Nur of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was my desire to continue on that, and inshallah we will, but because of the surge of Shiism in the country, it was asked that something be spoken from the mimbar regarding what is the Shia. So obviously I could have given a lecture today about Shiism itself, and we could have quoted from their kitabs, and we could have mentioned what a evil force they are. But in my understanding, to speak about a Shia is very difficult, for the reason of what is, if any Shia is to come in front of anyone, then the first thing you will tell the Shia is that I do not really know what you are, and neither do you know what you are. Because 9/10 of the Shia faith is made up of something called taqiyya. Taqiyya means a lie. So we don't know what's a lie and what's the truth. If we quote from their books, it could be the truth, it could be a lie. Whenever you read a book, you will write there either fiction or non-fiction. It's either true or it's a fable. If it's a fable, then it means the whole thing is a lie. Now if someone is a lie, then his books are a lie, his messages are lies. Whether he says things in favor, against, whether he says I believe this, he says I don't believe that, whatever he says, it's all a lie. And the most you will tell the person that you are a liar, and Allah Tabarak Ta'ala has made it clear that the liars, their place is in Jahannam. However, to go into the aqaid of a Shia group, it's very hard, because everything you say, they say this, the next thing they will say, we don't say that. And if you show them it's in your book, they will say taqiyya. So there's no way you can go around it. So what my desire was to explain, where did these groups come out from? And what is their maqsad in the world? And why do they fight so much to prove their point, which makes no sense? And how is it a creed that makes no sense at all to anyone? A person swears your mother, that is the last person who you're going to shake hands with. But you will see in the world two amazing things happened. One is with the Christians and the Jew. The Jew, according to the Christian, he killed the Christian's God. So the man who kills your God, that's the last man who slaughters your dog, forget your God. If he cuts your dog in front of you, you will never become his friend. You'll say, you kill my dog. Now if a man went and instead of dog, he killed God, the Jew killed the Christian's God. And then the Christian says, you know what, never mind, God taught us to forgive and forget. We'll become your friends. That is something that no mind can ever think about. But it happened. So that's the question, why did it happen? Was the whole world became so stupid that they couldn't forgive the Muslims, although the Muslims did nothing to them. Maybe they took down one tower according to them, 911. And for that year after year after year they will fight, they say revenge, revenge. But they'll never think about God is also crying on top. He was also brought down. But there is no revenge. And the second one is if someone shoots your mother, kills your mother, accuses your mother. And the worst accusation in Islam is the accusation of zina, adultery. وَأَزْوَاجُهُ أُمَّهَاتُهُمْ. The wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is known to everyone, even to the Shia. It's called your mother. It's his own mother, it's our mother. Because you can't be a man of faith except that she's your mother, whether you like it or not. وَأَزْوَاجُهُ أُمَّهَاتُهُمْ. But you will find two amazing things happen. One is that the people who accept Aisha radiallahu anha as their mother, they know that the Shia are accusing her of the worst act of zina, adultery, they're cursing her. But still that simple-minded Muslim will say, you know what, forgive and forget. We must live with unity. We can't fight about these things. But if she accuses your own mother of zina, then there will be a big problem. Because you got no link with your own mother. And more stupid than that is the Shia himself, who says, you know, my mother, she committed adultery. No man in his life will go and say, you know, my mom, she does amazing things. Because you yourself are then saying you are a harami. That if your mother is a zaniya, you are a harami, where you came out from. That the world of Shias accepted Aisha radiallahu anha to be the worst. Our Muslim people accept that the Shias in the end of the day are our friends. Why fight about it? And the Christians have said that the guy who killed God, never mind. We'll forgive him. Next time God comes, don't do it again. So the reason why, how did a group with such a unique aqidah in Islam, which starts the aqidah that, you know what, 9/10 of my aqidah is lies. A group which is able to write that and not hide it. And yet you will find so many followers following that creed. No one in the world will say, even a Christian won't say, you know, my Bible 9/10 is lies. I'm a staunch Christian. Never. But the Shia himself will say, taqiyya is a major part of my religion. To lie, to curse, to do actions which normal mind will never think. Prostitution is a big thing for the Shia. One is a man does the act of sleeping around with women at night, but he hides. He's a Maulana in the town, a Hafiz in the town, normal man in the town. He will hide and he will do it. But the Shia will do it and he say, if I do it 3 nights, I will reach the level of Hussein radiallahu anhu. Where will a man ever think something like that? But, so it's stupid. And to talk about something that makes no sense, makes no sense. But what makes even less sense is why did so many people accept it in the world? You got countries and countries just falling into it. It's been grabbing the world. So my desire was to speak about that. Where did they all come from? So in the ending, the khulasa of this whole world is there are 2 groups of people. In the group of what you will call batil, where we know there will be 70 sects and 100 sects and how many sects you want. But in the ending it's based up of 2. There is the group of haqq on the truth, but the group of batil is 2. One is al-maghdub alayhim, one is ad-dallin. Normally it's explained maghdub alayhim is the Jew, dallin is the Christian. But the true essence of what it meant was that there will be 2 groups of people or 2 parties. The one will be the one who knows what he is doing is completely wrong. So he is al-maghdub alayhim. It's not that he lost the road, he is not bald. That he doesn't know the road, he can't see the road, he knows the road. And his job is to make sure no one walks on that road. He will bring them on every other road. He is what we will call an open Satanist. He takes his instructions directly from the shayateen, from the big iblis and from everyone under. He is al-maghdub alayhi. He, no matter what haqq is brought in front of him, he will make some excuse or the other, he'll never accept it. Because he will know big balls does not allow it. And the second is ad-dallin, will be those that will follow him. Because he's a powerful man, they will not understand why he's saying what he says, but they will follow. They are ad-dall. The Christians normally are known as dallin because the people on top who knew what was right and wrong changed the whole thing, and the remaining Christian will just follow suit, really thinking what we are doing is right. And the Jew would normally be known as al-maghdub alayhim, which was referred to the top class Jews, who knew everything, which Quran said they recognized Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam better than their own sons. But there was something that prevented them accepting. One was hasad, which Quran mentions, hasad. But this hasad itself, jealousy, was the answer they would give to the people around them. Why do they not accept Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Because every other Nabi that came before, he also came to the Bani Israel. And at that time he was not an Arab. At that time he was from the Bani Israel. But Allah Tabarak Ta'ala in Quran says, whenever a Nabi brought to them what they were not happy with, then they would slaughter him. Isa alayhi salam was also Bani Israel. So it was just excuses that they were making. The real reason was what they would sometimes say, the power that we have, the knowledge that has reached us, for that we will never ever surrender it for your knowledge. What was that knowledge that reached them? They would sometimes say the knowledge of the Talmud, or the knowledge of the hidden secrets of Musa alayhi salam, or the hidden Bible, the hidden Torah, whatever they would call it, they had some certain knowledge. And on the basis of that knowledge, which we will call Satanism, they were not ready to accept any power over them. So that is one. There are two groups. Al-Maghdub alayhim, the people who know the truth, but because they have sold their life to the Satan, they will never accept it. And then there will be a balling. Thereafter in the group, when we say haqq and batil, so normally if you ask a person, explain the groups of haqq and batil, so you say the group of haqq is the people on the truth, and the group of batil will be who? So in the ending there is only one group, where one group is haqq, one group is batil. The one group is batil is that group which will not accept the Zat of Allah as supreme, rather it will accept shaitan as supreme. Because the war started at this, that Iblis was ordered by Allah to make sajda to the command of Allah to Adam alayhi salam, and he refused. And then a competition started, although it was between man and the shayateen, but more it was between shaitan and the Zat of Allah. That where Iblis said, I will prove, who he was going to prove to? He was going to prove to all the angels and to the Zat of Allah himself, that I will prove your decision will work out wrong. That where you told me to make sajda to man, I will prove in the world that all men in entirety will accept finally that the fire is more powerful than sand. Not only will he accept it, he will even raise it up less. And he will sometimes make sajda to it also. And then the game started. Every group that became on batil, at the top of it you will always find there was shaitan. Under it was his agents who were open Satanists. They were al-Maghdub alayhim, those who on Allah's anger is full on. And under them would be the different groups which would just go astray. Where you will call this person is a Christian, he is this, he is that. Once upon a time he was in a tariqah of haqq, but he went astray. Who took them astray? It was agents above. Where those agents got their news from, information, orders, it was from one Iblis on the top. And this is the two groups. When we came into this ummah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained a lot about the groups that will come out in this ummah. In those groups he explained certain ones which he mentioned sarahatan, their style, their manner, and others then he left for the ummah to understand where they are coming from. Among these groups, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that inna likulli ummatin majus. That was the first. That for every nation they are fire worshippers, majus. Like how he said inna likulli ummatin fitna. For every nation there will be a big fitna. Fitna means the test on which Allah Tabarak Ta'ala will see who's good and who's bad. So he has said like every nation will have their selected group of fire worshippers. These fire worshippers will be on the top. They will take the command directly from the Satan. So normally in madrasa when we do the fire worshippers, we don't regard them as anything big. We understand the fire worshippers just say that you can marry your own sister. They call them the majus, they would eat this is their aqidah, hardly anything in the books. Because they were not really something big that we find. We'll find the Christians were big, the Jews were big, but fire worshippers, what we will call in English, Zoroastrians most likely. People who worship the fire. So we will say this is a very amazing creed, nothing big about them. But the hadith said that this is the biggest. لِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ مَجُوسٍ. That the fire worshippers will be in every nation. Thereafter speaking about this nation, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَمَجُوسُ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ. That in this nation, the fire worshippers who will come out will be الَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ لَا قَدَرٍ. Will be a group who will come and they will say, we are Muslims. Accept everything, but. And then they will put a pin on one point on Islam which will open up a lot of doubts. Their point would be that this issue of taqdeer, how it happened, because this is a very complex issue. So they will just start pressing on that, la qadar. That do you really believe that something like taqdeer? And then Allah has chosen everything good and bad. And then the question, why must Allah choose bad when Allah is good? And why must Allah put someone in Jahannam where He is the loving Allah? And that why? And He would ask it in a very simple manner, innocent manner. But He would be putting a stab into the hearts of many people. So in the ending, you would be a normal Muslim, little bit off. La qadar. So normally you will tell the person, take him in one corner and tell him, you know what, let me explain to you reality. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, in reality, understand he is from the Majus of this ummah. Thereafter he said, if ever you meet him, don't make salam to him. And if you get the news that he died, don't ever go for his janazah. And Sahaba radiallahu anh thereafter did that. Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anh got the news, someone has come and he started questioning taqdeer. Ma'abad bin Abdullah al-Juhani was a name only. One name, but there were many. So he said, if ever you meet that man, tell him Abdullah bin Umar got nothing to do with him. And explain to him, as long as he doesn't retract, even if he spends Mount Uhud in gold, Allah will never accept it from him. Because he is in kufr. But what was his kufr? Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, he will come with the issue of taqdeer. And at the same time, he said, he is the Majus of this ummah. Now there is a question that how is he of the Majus? Majus means a fire worshipper. But this man never said, I'm a fire worshipper. He came and said, I'm a believer in Allah. And I only got one problem with this taqdeer issue. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, don't worry of his problem, understand where he's coming from. He is from the Majus of this ummah, fire worshipper. So to understand how could this man be of the fire worshippers, we'll have to go now into the world of fire worship. To understand who they were. What was meant that when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born, the mighty fire of the Persians suddenly died, which was burning for 1,000 years. And it created havoc in the entire lands of what is known as the world of fire worship. So to find out about these fire worshippers, we'll go back into the history of what is called fire worshipping, Majusiyat. So this is a group that in our kitabs you will find that they say that there are two gods. One God is the God of light, and one God is the God of not light, which they will call darkness. And that's really the crux of them. Thereafter the God of light they will worship, and the God of darkness they hate. The God of light will win, the God of darkness will lose. The God of light has come to give you happiness, enjoyment, peace, adl, justice. The God of darkness has come to bring about oppression, massacre, killing. So in the ending, if you look at that Majus and you look at us, you will say we are so close. Because he believes in a God of light, which we will say the Zat of Allah. And he believes in a God of darkness, which we will say Shaitan. The only thing we say, it's not a God, he is under God. And if it was that the case, then all the Majus would have accepted Islam. Because they are so close to us. That just don't take him. Why must you call him a God? You hate him. So don't call him a God. You're not worshipping him. You want him to die. So we are telling you the truth. He's not a God. So it would have seemed so simple. But rather you will find Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying they will be the worst for every ummah. Majus. Yet they are so close to the people of Haqq. Because the reality of their belief is in the two gods. The first God, which they call the God of light. The word light, they only say it so that it covers their reality. Actually, it's supposed to mean the God of fire. For fire represents light, and light represents wisdom according to them. So whether they say we worship the God of knowledge, the God of wisdom, the God of light, in the ending they come into this, the God of fire. Meaning we are fire worshippers, and fire worshippers means we are Satan worshippers. The opposite of fire then is the one who has no fire, who we will call Almighty Allah. That Zat of Allah according to them is the one of oppression, the one of evil, the one of ignorance, and the one who one day the God of fire will triumph over. And now they say that we will give our life to the God of fire, we will never accept the God with no fire. So in the ending there are two groups now. The one who accepts Almighty Allah is unique, and the other one who accepts Iblis is unique. And it is this fight that will take place between the two. The Majus in their time, they were given certain things. which whoever studied al-firaq al-batila, what you call, groups that went astray in history, you will see that the ulama have written one sentence that amazing you will find, whatever evil was written in the past, the exact evil is written in today's time also. What stories were told in the time of Adam alayhi salam, Nuh alayhi salam, Hud alayhi salam, those stories are being written today. Or if you can't understand that, go and look at, example, your English calendar. January, February, March, April, May. Or your English days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Go on a normal encyclopedia, Google it, to say what does January mean, and you will see it refers to one god of the Greek. And February will mean one god of the Roman. And then you will go into Monday, it will refer to a certain thing. Go into your car names, into your clothing names. And the question will come, why do the people of today's time have so much thrill with the gods of the past? Because we're not Roman, we're not Greek, we're not Egyptian. Who taught it? So they will write whatever was said at the top, same thing is being repeated today. Go into the Christian religion and you will find it's nothing but what the pagan fire worshippers would be saying. What the Persians would be saying, the Christians are saying the same thing. Who brought it in? Normally will say Constantine brought it in, he was a fire worshipper. But all the Christians are saying the same thing which the fire worshippers were saying. So what we understand is that whatever is coming of evil, it wasn't only made up by one mind today. Rather this was said at a time years ago. And although people died and died, but the man who said it right on top, that shaitan, he remains till the ending. And every time he gets new worshippers, then through their tongue he will say it in the world. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he mentioned that when this group will come, and they will say there is no such thing as taqdeer, he said, understand immediately that they are actually fire worshippers. How are they fire worshippers? They are coming from the land of fire worshipping. Why have they come? Have they accepted Islam and they brought their old aqaid with them? Or were they told to accept Islam so that they could attack it from within? So we will now have to go into the land of the fire worshippers. Their land was actually the land of Russia, southern Russia. And from there their mighty empire then settled in the land of Iran and Iraq. This was their kingdom, Iran and Iraq. In Iran and Iraq they openly worshipped the fire, there was nothing hidden about it. They would have huge fires, they would make it burn on the mountains. The man in charge of the fire would be called the Magi. And what the word Magi means the boss. If you just put on Magi, C-I-A-N, Shan, which means agent, then you got the word magician, which means the ancient Magi. Because this was the man of magic. This was the man of knowledge, the man of philosophy, the man who could hold you and tell you your future, the man who could look in the stars and tell you what's going to happen, the man who could cure you from all sicknesses because he had given his life to the fire. He was the boss. And Iran was the center of the world because they had the power of the world. They had given their lives for the big Iblis, and the shayateen had given their powers over to them. And it was such a mighty kingdom that the chance of it ever being destroyed would never be thought. But when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, the mighty fire which for 1,000 years would never even go out one day to show the fire is supreme, the whole fire just died. To show now a time has come where your fire will never become as powerful as before. And it died. When it died, within a few years Umar radiallahu anh came and the entire Iran was destroyed, brought to the ground. At that time there had to be three groups of the fire worshippers. One was the group who accepted Islam with sincerity, and they did a lot of good in the Muslim world. One was the group who said, we will remain fire worshippers, we will never accept. So they ran. Some of them ran to India, others ran to other countries. In present time today, the biggest group of open fire worshippers, one is in India, one is in Iran itself, after coming back over the different years, and the third one, which is a very amazing thing, is in North America. Why they went there, who knows, but they went there. Two groups. And the third group, who were the top class of fire worshippers, what did they do? They never ran, neither did they accept Islam with sincerity. Rather, they were ordered by the big boss that now the only way to regain our power again, and to become the mightiest in the world again, and to make people again lift up the fire, and to make people again make sajda, and to destroy Islam, because this is the only religion of haqq. There is now only one way that's going to work, and that is accept Islam as a hypocrite, and move into Islam, and become famous in Islam with your ibadat, with your ideas, with your worship. And when you get your groups, then we will tell you what to start saying now. And when these groups came into the ummah from the lands of Iran, then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will see the Qadariya coming. And they came. Then he said, from the land of Iraq and Iran, you will see a group coming which the world will call the Khawarij. They will come with beautiful Quran, but they will have no reality. If you find them, kill them. Because they got no ta'alluq with Islam at all, although they be beautiful reciters of Quran. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, from the lands of Iran and Iraq, Ra'sul Kufri, the worst of kufr you will find coming. He said, from the lands of Iran and Iraq, Yatlu'u qaranu shaitan, the horns of shaitan will come up. The power of shaitan, the generations of shaitan will come. But what it was, Iraq and Iran was now going to become a Muslim land. And it remained Muslim land. For many, many years. Up till today we know it, Muslim land. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained that from that land, whatever fitna, evil is going to come into my deen is going to come from there. That was the same land which were fire worshippers, Satan worshippers. How it was going to come? It was going to come in the guise of munafiqs and hypocrites. After that, from the land of Iran and Iraq, when we mentioned the Khawarij came. And wasn't one man, but it was groups and groups. In every country he'll be saying the same thing. They would have the power of shayateen around them, people would accept. And they would have money with them, power with them. They would have style with them, propaganda with them. The Qadariya came, the Murjiya came, the Jahmiya came, Mu'tazila came, Mushabbiha came. Whatever funny names you find, you'll find them, they coming from that country. And one of the groups that came, although Abdullah bin Sabah was one famous name, a Jew from Sham, from not the land of Iran and Iraq. But he also, when he came with his views of Shi'ism, he couldn't find any effect in the lands of Sham. No one would accept it. And no one would accept it in Makkah and Medina. The only place where he could find acceptance was the land of Iraq and Iran. Because that was the land where they were waiting for these things. Shi'iyat came from there, and it is for that reason that today Shi'iyat is returning back to them. All the other groups died with the passing of the time. You will hardly find Khawarij now. You will hardly find Qadariya, Jahmiya, Mu'tazila. They're all gone. Today you will find the surge of Shi'iyat. And now to answer this group, one is you can go into their books and give answers. And one is you can just understand your reality is nothing but you all are die-hard fire worshippers, Satan worshippers. Amongst you there is al-maghdub alayhim, those who know the truth. But in their love for the shaitan, they have misled the rest. And that is the only reason why a huge population of people will be ready to say, Aisha, curse of Allah be on her. Abu Bakr, curse of Allah. Umar, curse of Allah. Companions of Muhammad, curse on all of them. As though he did nothing. There will be a group ready to say that the Zat of Allah actually is no longer there. He came into Ali. Ali is God. Like how the Christians would say Jesus is God. There will be a group ready to say that the cleanest of clean Quran, fabricated, made up, lost. Reality, hidden in a cave. Anything which makes no sense, they will say it. Why? Because on top they are playing with one shaitan name. This is one group, Iran, that you will find no Western country in the world will dare attack them. Because when the boss on top rules over America, Britain, other countries, he also rules over Iran. Where Iran will serve as the Persia of today, America and Britain will be the Rome of today. The Roman Empire, the Persian Empire. Both of them have to be unique countries in the world. Iran is nothing but a fire worshipping nation. Although they will call themselves Muslim, and that is their reality. May Allah Tabarak Ta'ala.